Hey everyone, it's Mindy from the OG Sports Network. Hey, coming to you live. But today we are not necessarily talking about sports. I know it's a little bit difficult to wrap my head around, too. But this is going to be something a little bit different. It's something that really got my attention. It's going to be the Academy Awards. That's right, the Oscars. So, as you know, we're always kind of trying to find this edge against the books. So we brought in an expert today. His name is Travis Geiger, and he is the CXO of WagerWire. So you might have heard me talk about WagerWire here a little bit before because they are this awesome, innovative marketplace where sports bettors can buy and sell. That's right, previously placed picks, a place where you can go ahead and buy low and sell high, kind of just like the stock market. So if you're kind of like me and all of this kind of just seems to be, too good to be true, it's something that I kind of had to be a part of. So it's kind of like this. You're telling me, WagerWire, that I can go ahead and get the Chiefs at, say, -2 on a Tuesday when the lines come out. And then when the Chiefs move to -5 by Sunday, I can sell my bet and make a profit even before the game plays. It's pretty amazing, right? Like, these guys are awesome. The good thing is we have Travis here to tell us a little bit more about this concept. But first thing you guys need to do is go ahead and download the WagerWire app. So we can, pause a little bit here while you go ahead and do it. We'll wait. But no, really, the app is great. So you can go ahead and sign up for sports books. You can sync your sports books. You can see what your friends are on. You can check your ROI. And of course, it's my favorite part. They have live odds, you guys. Why pay for a line service when you can just look through the app, find the sports books, find the best lines, the best odds, because you know how much I hate paying the juice. So yeah, sign up for the WagerWire app and put my name in the code, and then you can go ahead and be my sports betting friend, right? But we have another friend to bring in. We're going to go ahead and bring in Travis. We're going to see what he's up to. Travis.
Hello.
What's going on? I'm so excited to have you here.
Ooh.
And I put gold for the Academy Award, the Oscar.
Yes, the Oscars. So thank you for that intro, Mindy. And it is true. If you get the Chiefs at -2 on a Tuesday and the line moves to -5, you can already be in the money. You can sell your action. You can even sell part of your action. The crazy thing is your bets no longer have to win to make you money. We had the story of a dude placed a $5 parlay a year before the NFL honors, ended up coming within 2 votes. His bet could have won him $680K, but it was worth
that was awesome.
20 going into it. So we helped him sell 25% of it for 20K. Or 20% of it for 25. He ended up losing, but rather than going home like totally gut wrenched, he was going to make a down payment on a new truck.
Exactly. No, it's awesome. Like, I watched that, with the honors, and it was like, a big thing. Like, man, this guy could really do it. But wait, there's other folks that might want to get in on the action. And I think that's kind of how you guys started the business, the three of you, is that you guys kind of wanted to, make wagers in between each other, but thought that there had to be a better way, right?
Totally. And I think for anybody that, tails you, Mindy gets in at like when the market is the best, right? Like right when the lines drop before they normalize, and slightly different. But the way we started this was my friend had some action on a game that was in progress. I came home late from work. I didn't want the live line, right? I wanted the line that he got in on, and we could root for the exact same outcome. So I Venmoed him for half of his bet. It won. He Venmoed me half the winnings, and we said, hey, why do it on Venmo when we could actually do it with the bet slips, and started building the technology to actually plug into sports books to trade bets.
It's pretty awesome. That's for sure. And right now you even have some live action going with real-time sports. Unfortunately, they're not in my state yet, but you have a lot of folks that are out there actually wagering real dollars now on, on some player props. I think we're getting close to doing like overs and unders and, and spreads and things like that. But it sounds like something that I'm, excited to get with once my state approves it. I'm sure you're running into all those kind of roadblocks all the time, right?
I know, and it's getting crazier and crazier every day. But we have a great legal team, some of which are going to be on our Twitter Spaces talking about North Carolina and what the heck is going on in Florida. One of our advisors actually wrote the brief that went to the Supreme Court trying to get Florida out of the clutches of the monopoly. Right. Anyway, so just to preview RT Sports real quick, because I think it's really cool for you guys. And if you do a deposit code WagerWire, they match you up to 100%, up to $200. So these are picks that are in progress. Like, this is like your classic pick 'em. You can build them over here. You can see these are my plays in progress. But the cool thing is I've posted some for sale. So like this is one posted for sale. I paid $1. It's in progress. I got fantasy points going. I got, over under total points going in a couple different games. I come into here. These are other people that are selling their bets. These are games that are in progress. This guy already hit one leg. He's looking like he's going to hit the Barnes leg. They just came back from halftime. He's got to pick it up actually, but you can kind of see like, maybe I want to buy one of these in progress for a discount, or just make some money on my picks that are already in the money. So that's real time. And thanks for letting us share that. You can rtsports.com. You can go right now, sign up. Most states, except for Mindy's in Michigan, have it.
Right. I mean, I'm just the luck of the draw there, but it's pretty cool. And I think you said we're getting really close to having that functionality in the WagerWire app itself, right?
Yeah. So those picks right now, we're tucking it into the WagerWire app. So when you download WagerWire and use Mindy as your referral, you'll actually be able to buy and sell picks right inside the app. And then sports books are coming soon. There's a couple that we're actually sitting on that we closed that we're going to be announcing in the next couple of weeks, names that you guys would all know. Yeah.
All right. So the real reason why you are here, because you are an expert in the area of cinema. So you have to go ahead and give us all of your knowledge regarding what kind of bets we should be making for the Oscars. I didn't even know this was a thing, Travis. I'm gonna tell you, I'm old. That's what happens. But I'm excited now to play some wagers. So you're gonna have to let us know what we need to be on. I got my pen. I'm ready.
One of my favorite things. I went to film school. We met at UCLA, me and my co-founders. I went to film school. This is what I was doing, not betting the Oscars, but I was in this world before. And now that the major sports books are offering Oscars lines, I think it's interesting for a couple of reasons. One, that it exists and there's probably edge to be had. Two is it's kind of momentum based in a way that, like, how you described the -2 to -5 line movement. These are flying around during the award season as the politics happen, the temperature changes, but most importantly, other award shows happen. And we had 3 really interesting award shows just in the last week that are in their own ways barometers of how the Oscars are going to go. First, you had the BAFTA, the British Academy of Film and Television, the SAG Awards, which is Screen Actors Guild, and then the Producers Guild Awards were last night, and the SAG Awards were Saturday. So we're going to look at the front runners. We're also going to look at the FanDuel odds, and we're going to see if we can determine who we think. And I'm going to give my version of Mindy's picks out for anybody.
All right. This is awesome.
All right. So the elephant in the room is Oppenheimer, who has 13 nominations. Now, what's interesting about the 13 is I think it's a tall order this year. We are looking at what could potentially be a split ballot. And if you really want to get woo-woo on it, there's been a split ballot every leap year for the last, I think 6 or 7 leap years. They get really weird. It just happens that there's honestly this cycle of auteur filmmakers. Like you have Christopher Nolan and Martin Scorsese this year, and then Bradley Cooper, who did A Star Is Born. Like he's like these kind of, writer director types that are really putting forth their authorship that happens kind of in cycles, 3-4 year cycles. And so sometimes you'll get a really dry year where something like The Shape of Water wins, and sometimes you'll get a year like this. But is Oppenheimer going to run away with it? We think at WagerWire, not financial advice, we think no, actually.
Not financial advice.
We've seen over-unders. We've seen over-unders as high as 8.5 as the line against 13. I think that there's 5 surefire losses that are coming Oppenheimer's way. I think they lose for supporting actress. I think they lose adapted screenplay. I think they lose makeup. I think they lose costume design, and they lose production design. Now, Divine Joy Randolph from The Holdovers is my lock for supporting actress. Not only did she win the BAFTAs, but she also won the SAG. Adapted screenplay, American Fiction, won the BAFTAs. It's picking up a ton of steam. Interestingly, the last film that won a BAFTA for adapted screenplay but wasn't nominated for an Academy for Best Picture at the BAFTAs was Coda. Obviously, Coda won the Academy Awards. American Fiction doesn't have that opportunity this year, but it basically locks it in as an adapted screenplay lock. Makeup and costume design, the BAFTAs gave both of these, and production design, they gave all three to Poor Things, which was a European production. I think in the Academy, you're going to see it split. Now, I do think it's going to get makeup, but that's only because I like the makeup. I think Bradley Cooper and Maestro, this is going to be their one Oscar they walk away with for the night. Costume design, production design could go to Poor Things. If that's the case, you're down to one Oscar realistically for Barbie that they could walk away with, which is best song. I'll get into why I don't even think that that's a lock.
Oh no.
Barbie could get a total snub, Mindy. Like we could be looking at a snub.
Billie Eilish might not get number 2.
Billie Eilish could either lose to Gosling, but I think more interestingly for bettors could lose to John Batiste in the song that he made for his documentary film. Okay. The 4 locks that Oppenheimer has coming their way, I think: director, cinematography, sound, and picture, probably score and editing with that. The toss-ups are, can Cillian Murphy edge out Paul Giamatti in the actor category? And will Robert Downey Jr. hold fast in the supporting category? I think that Robert Downey Jr.'s got this. If you look at who he's against, Sterling K. Brown, Willem Dafoe, Robert De Niro, Ryan Gosling, he won the SAG. And what's important about the SAG is 80% of the Academy is actors. So they're going to kind of determine what the performance in pretty much every category goes to. So count Robert Downey Jr. for supporting actor, but Cillian Murphy versus Paul Giamatti is still a live dog. Looking at the Best Picture odds, I can pull up FanDuel right here because this is where it starts to get interesting.
Yeah, so I was surprised when I heard you say that a lot of the actors that vote don't even really watch the movies.
Well, they're actors, so they'll tell you that they did.
All right. So, I mean, I guess I was surprised that that's how, these award shows come about is, not necessarily by just a group of folks that vote, but a lot of people included in acting that don't. I mean, it would kind of be like, I don't know, all of the basketball coaches voting, for the football national championship.
In a way, it is. So the way that they're nominated is by their discipline. So editors nominate editors, cinematography nominate cinematographers, actors nominate actors, on down the line. But when it gets into the general voting pool for the actual Oscar, those nominations are locked into place, and the Academy et al. Votes. Why is 80% of the Academy actors? Well, there's 4 acting categories where every other discipline really has one. So just by virtue of nominees and people that are shortlisted, et cetera, and the things that go into the Academy, it's a ton of actors. So you're at the whim of their feelings, for better or worse. They were feeling like the holdovers until very recently. It really nosedived, and I think maybe this is an opportunity to pull up one of our, kind of fun bet value. Yeah. So Mindy knows these, and you guys might know these from what we do with sports teams. And if you go to WagerWire.com/graph, you can actually create graphs with, odds and outcomes with a starting bet, starting date. And it'll show you basically this is the value of a $100 bet on the Best Picture noms to actually win. So Poor Things peaked back here in December when it was really knocking on the door, right? And holdovers, and it started as a long shot, and the holdovers was kind of coming on strong too. But as you can see, both of their kind of stocks have fallen, and Oppenheimer looks steady Eddie to take it home. And that corresponds, I think, as well with Best Director. I mean, that's just been a runaway with, the Poor Things director and Jonathan Glazer, Zone of Interest. They never really got off of their 100 mark. Scorsese looked like he could come on hot, but ended up, I think Killers of the Flower Moon ended up being underwhelming. But the interesting thing, and I mean really interesting thing about Killers of the Flower Moon is Lily Gladstone. So Lily Gladstone was for a while the favorite to win supporting actress. Then Emma Stone started eating her lunch, and then Emma Stone took the BAFTA. Lily Gladstone just won the SAG on Saturday. So they're back to exact odds. And I think this is for Best Actress. Sorry. They're both at -125. The next person after that, Sandra Huller, Anatomy of Fall, is plus 1900. So it's
Right.
those two girls and then the field basically. Can Emma Stone do it? The BAFTAs are a little bit swayed towards European sentiment, and it was a Greek director, more or less a European production, whereas Scorsese Killers is American production. But you know, if the Academy's honest with themselves about representation, I think Lily Gladstone should get it because she held her own next to Leonardo DiCaprio, next to Robert De Niro in a Martin Scorsese picture, what was essentially her first time on screen. She was the only three-dimensional female character in that and had a huge part. You had to believe a lot of things. Whereas Emma Stone, I mean, amazing performance and absolutely deserves it if she wins. But who do you choose? I actually don't know here. And Lily was a surprise to me just on Saturday.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, you know, I think you were talking about that you had a couple upsets in mind as well today, right?
Yes, the upsets. Ha ha ha. Let me let me share. I've been stewing on these for a while because I'm like, you know, it's like, all right, Christopher Nolan is basically like Lamar Jackson MVP at like minus thousands, and so is Divine Joy Randolph. There's no value here. I think that she runs away with this for sure. I think that this holds true. Cinematography, you know, minus 550. It's pretty much a lock. Original screenplay is a category I would look really closely at. Anatomy of a Fall is not a movie everybody loved. It's French and English, mostly courtroom drama. The Holdovers has lost some luster, but I'm taking value in The Holdovers here over Anatomy of a Fall. So
we can get a little bit of plus money right there.
We can get some plus money right there. Now, not for nothing, but the last time Alexander Payne, the director of The Holdovers, won an Oscar, it was exactly 3 leap years ago, counting this leap year. So 2 leap year cycles ago, he won for The Descendants with a film that was also edited by the same editor, Kevin Tent, who's nominated this year. So if you believe in the leap year cycles,
this is it.
This is it. This is the one. Adapted screenplay.
I know Alexander Payne only because, you know, I believe he's from Omaha, right?
He is from Omaha, and he did the movie.
And he did About Schmidt.
And he did About Schmidt, and he did Nebraska, which all those are also cut by our good friend Kevin Tent, who came on our Twitter space just last week. And I'm teaching him how to sports bet using Mindy's method. But
heck yeah, nice.
For legal reasons, not on the Oscars. Okay. Adapted screenplay is super interesting, not because of an underdog, but because the Academy actually forced Barbie to enter as an adapted screenplay because of their Mattel IP. Think of that what you will, but at the BAFTAs, it ran as an original screenplay. American Fiction ran as adapted. American Fiction won adapted. Barbie lost original. This makes Barbie's chances even less here. So it's going to be another snub for them. Oppenheimer, potentially, but I really don't see it. We get into international feature. This one is a runaway, although this is a very great film. If anyone gets to see Society of the Snow, I highly recommend it. Score, they already won the Grammy, which is generally an indicator. So I think that Oppenheimer takes score.
Okay.
Sound, interesting to hear, see Zone of Interest weighted like this for sound in the number 2 spot when you got something like Maestro, which I thought sounded impeccable, way down here. And then you kind of got these effects films sneaking in. I listed this as a lock. I stand by it. This is where it starts to get interesting, Mindy, in this category right here. I have no idea why. And I think I know why. Because these bookmakers have never even heard of John Batiste. Oh, maybe they have. That's Colbert's guy. And Symphony is just not on their radar. But this already won a Grammy. Okay. And at the Producers Guild of America Awards, it won Best Documentary over something like 20 Days in Mariupol, right? Which was my previous lock to win Best Documentary. And I watched recently, and it's gut-wrenching, but it's like plus 2,400 because
this is the upset I've been hearing about.
Okay. So interesting that Billy's a shoo-in in their minds. Now she appeared at the SAG Awards. She's doing the political thing. She won for James Bond. This will be her second Oscar. She'll be like one of the youngest to ever win 2 Oscars. She's just 22. I'm Just Ken is a total freaking crowd pleaser. My weird suspicion is that people are in such an effort attitude that these are going to split each other's votes. Okay.
Okay.
And then now that, I mean, there's only really 24 hours left, but I think that John Batiste is known in the Hollywood community. Like he's like a beloved dude, kind of obscure to everyone else, but very beloved. Plus 2,400 is a ton of value.
Right.
Spamming American Symphony.
All right. I love that. See, I feel like this is what we've all been waiting for. A lot of value with some plus money here or there. Plus we can take, and put them together with some of those expert picks on, ones that we feel like we're sitting at, close to what, 100%? All right. We'll say 90%. What? Never a sure thing in betting, right?
Never a sure thing in betting. But like if you're looking for value, that's interesting. I mean, these are neck and neck races. Like, but these are all plus money. This tells you, like I was talking about before, like they don't really know. Poor Things costume design, they're saying edges out Barbie. Maestro, they correctly have as the favorite here. I think that there's not a ton of value there, but I mean, these are the 2 front runners are plus money. I'm taking Poor Things. Because I think I don't know if you can bet this, but if you can bet it somewhere, you should. 0 Oscars for Barbie is my long shot call, because if they lose the ones that we've saw are favorited for the rest of the field, the only thing they have left is Song out of their.
Yeah. So when I was looking today, it seems like ESPN Bet gave out the most options for the Academy Awards this year. My understanding, they have 19 categories. So I'm hearing that could be the place if you can't find everything else that you need, maybe spend some time there at their sportsbook. Even though WagerWire is not officially, we're not officially with them yet.
I think that Billie Eilish. No, exactly. So the interesting thing though about these graphs that we were looking at, and we could take a look at. I'll pull up the actor to kind of round us out.
Okay.
Cillian Murphy, super interesting. I mean, we're looking at momentum plays right here, right? So Paul Giamatti, The Holdovers. Now keep in mind, Oppenheimer came out in the middle of July, right? So this shows you the power of momentum and a campaign, and just like how the zeitgeist plays into it. Because all things equal, put $100 on each one of these guys on September 25th. Look, Murphy's value is behind Coleman Domingo, right? When the award season kicks in, which this is kind of leading up to voting opening, is kind of where you see these pops. And then once the field is set, you'll kind of see them settle. But Paul Giamatti, all the way up until the end of last month, like he's the guy that's going to win. And then all of a sudden he goes dead cold on this losing streak. So if you were always a Cillian fan and you thought he could do it, like, you might just want to wait and see whose stars are fading, especially in a field that's only 5 people. Like it's not the same as like Elimination March Madness, but you can kind of start to see people pull value away from the others, not with losses, but just kind of, I guess with losses, not elimination losses, but each award show, it's going to get harder and harder to uncement somebody as the front runner or the winner in some consciousness, especially a good looking guy like Cillian Murphy, who did a perfectly timed 60 minutes last weekend.
I saw today, if you guys make sure you go ahead and follow WagerWire on Twitter or X, but you put out the best actor and best supporting actor. It happened 2004, 2014, right? And then you're saying, well, is it going to be more out there? Are we going to do it with Oppenheimer? But one of my favorites, I'm just going to go ahead and go out there, from 1987, 88. It's going to be Moonstruck, right? Where Cher got Best Actress and Olivia Dukakis got Best Supporting Actress. That's the only movie, that's probably the last time I've watched any of these shows. So that was just what came to mind when we were talking about Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor today on Twitter.
I just put $100 on John Batiste at plus 20.
Right now? Okay. You're like, I convinced myself.
Love it.
I'm doing it.
Love it. You know, like if you go by the leap year dealio, which we should get into, because one of the things we're here, we're all about here is astro betting, the intersection of astrology and betting, because who doesn't like some good superstition, right? I'm trying to figure out moon cycles and MLB regular season night games. Who's got the winningest record on a full moon, half moon, no moon, etc.
Right. You need to start selling like moon calendars with the.
I think I'm going to win.
Going through there. Like, is this a money day? Like, this is one of my good money days. Yeah.
Truly, Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book called Blink that talked about kind of like, generational cycles and, sports excellence. If you were born in X month, you're more likely to be a better hockey player because of the way that you were kind of, you were the oldest person in your class. And then when the season happened and you matured and whatever, I think that I could easily win the same Pulitzer for this astro betting concept, but we'll see how it plays.
But see, I also felt like, back in the day with, like, say, college sports, softball teams, I felt like every 4 years you got an exceptional team where otherwise the other, 3 years are kind of okay. And then boom, here comes another really exceptional team. So I do think there has a lot to do with cycles like that in sports and with the type of athletes you get all at once. You can notice that from like draft classes, right?
Totally. Right. There's always like 1999 film was like a crazy year. You can look at draft class and be like, that was a crazy year. You're exactly right. And then you can also look at like, there's stretches of like, kind of like meh, like I think that the MLB in the last couple of years has just seen a surge of really great talent where, there was a little bit of a talent drought before that, in some ways. And, also we just entered the age of Aquarius. So it's a 30-year cycle. So depending on really how cyclical you want to get, you can. But just to wind it back, on February 9th of 2020, that was last leap year's Oscars. That's when Parasite won on a split ballot. And 20 days later, Tom Hanks got COVID. Then 2016, the Oscars won Best Picture, but only got 2 total Oscars, which was crazy, on a split ballot with The Revenant and The Big Short and some others. 2012 was even weirder, where The Artist, the black and white silent film, won Best Picture. That's the year that Descendants won for screenplay with Alexander Payne's last Oscar. Also, Meryl Streep won her last Oscar back in 2012. 2008, winding it way back, was No Country for Old Men over There Will Be Blood. And, that was like a freaking nuts year. Also, Bourne Ultimatum got 3 random Oscars. La Vie en Rose was that year. Ratatouille won Best Animated Screenplay, which we could talk about animation. I kind of want to I want to pull up the odds, because the Producers Guild gave it to Spider-Verse, which is like, okay, I love to see this. FanDuel is even offering the short categories. You love to see that.
Right.
This is where the being an actor comes into play, the mentality. Letter to a Pig. It's got the best title. So I think that one.
Right.
It's just, it sometimes is that simple. The Wonderful Story of Harry Sugar, a little bit of a cheat because it's Wes Anderson and he's just always excellent. So put him in a short film category. It's like, okay.
No-brainer.
Now, it's probably the best. Yeah. But like, you can see he's really stretching the field. Documentary feature. Oh, I didn't actually realize that. So John Batiste's, this makes me even more bullish, Mindy, on the long shot. John Batiste's film didn't make the nomination. So his only representation of his feature, which again, just won the Producers Guild, would be for song. So it's almost like you could by giving it song, you give it song and documentary. Super, super interesting. Let's just go back up to those. It Never Went Away, plus 2,400.
Did you write that one? Did you get that one in? Are you doing it right now?
Yeah, I'm getting down on that right now.
All right.
I'm freaking serious. I mean, it's kind of disrespectful to have it like all the way down here. I think that
Right.
there's a ton of value. I would be very surprised if this is where it ended. It's like kind of like opening line, but they've had this around for a while, but they're basically counting these two out. This is, by the same logic, it's because this movie didn't get it. People like this movie. I forget who directed it. God damn it. Eva Longoria. So it's like they're kind of awarding the film by awarding the song, I think, with those odds,
Sure.
but same logic. I'm just getting more, just talking myself into it more and more. Um, this is kind, and by the way, you guys should listen to our Oscar space tomorrow night at
Okay.
8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
All right.
Uh,
So another reason why you should follow, WagerWire
yeah,
on Twitter,
follow
is
us.
you'll be getting notified of all of the spaces, which the
Yeah,
crew does a great job with over there.
they do a great job. And we've been riding with Mindy for a while. If you could also see her stuff on our, on our IG, on our TikTok, on our X, etc. We trust her picks implicitly. She's the best in the business. She's the OG capper, as you guys know.
That's right. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I think I've expended my usefulness probably
All
of my
right.
knowledge at this point.
This is awesome. No, I mean, because it's something, honestly, that, sports people like to uh, get in on whatever they can, right? But these are some of those things that not everyone is an expert at. And so I'm excited to know you, to get to know you about your expertise in film. And it will broaden your horizons and make you want to do more. And at least maybe it will get people to pay a little bit more attention, right? And that's kind of how we look at it as sports. We want more women to get, interested in sports, just like we want more sports folks getting interested in film and music and that sort of thing as well. Because I think the more we know, the better we are as humans in this society.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited for that. So I appreciate all of your time today. Anything else you want to, let us know? Anything else good? I think you might have covered most of it.
I would say I would recommend a film called El Conde on Netflix, black and white vampire film shot by my dear friend Ed Lockman, who was nominated. We
Nice.
we were tracking his we were tracking his odd journey. He was almost entirely counted out until the American Society of Cinematographers nominated him, and then he got the Oscar nom because again, the Guild is the nominating body. So really interesting storylines. We interviewed Kevin Ten, who's nominated for editing. The last nomination he had was The Descendants, and he also cut Nebraska. Mindy knows and
Yeah.
loves.
Segue. Yeah.
Al Schmidt. Yeah. So I don't know. We have all these kinds of weird crossovers between entertainment and betting. And like
Right.
Mindy said, like I think that it's fun not only for the people that don't sports bet, but it might be fun for the sports people that don't always infotain,
Right. Exactly. I mean, I need to broaden my horizons and, just quit watching the Lakers. So.
See, Lakers aren't worth watching. Come on.
Well, Travis, I appreciate your time. You guys make sure you go ahead and follow WagerWire on Twitter. You can also find them out there on Instagram, on TikTok. Also, make sure you download the WagerWire app. Like I said, it's a cool app. Everyone wants to be there. It's going to be going live soon with all this new fun stuff. So you guys, hey, take care, everyone. Appreciate your time. Have a good
Thanks,
day. All right. Bye-bye. As soon as I find my end graphic.
Ed.